No, Copfer, thanks for doing the podcast. It's show business. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me, dude. I'm excited to be here.
Totally. So we've seen each other around for years, I would say.
Yeah, for a while now. Just at shows, whether we're both on them or just hanging at shows. I feel like you do that a lot too. Like the same thing where it's like you just go and hang at a show, which I love to do.
I go to some show, like especially like the ones. I'll go to Nightcap a lot because it's close and I know them, and I try to go to a few, like if my friends are hanging out, but I've been going way less since the pandemic.
Yeah, I think that was the thing I was the most bummed about, like that went away.
Yeah.
And like the first time I hung, for sure. The first time I hung out at a show back from the pandemic, I was like, oh, I really miss this. Like I miss comedy for sure, but I also miss like just the hanging and the shit talking at shows. Like, that I missed so much. And so when I finally did that again, I was like, this is comfortable.
I missed it all, and now it's back, but it also feels like weird. It feels kind of different, and I don't know. I like it, but the hang is not the same. I don't have the yearning to hang. Before it was like, oh, let's just pop in, little pops. We'll pop in over here. We'll pop over. No, none of that.
Now you're like, oh, life is short. I gotta go do other stuff.
But I have to say, Monday at the Kibitz Room, I have a weekly workout show.
Yeah.
And for the first time, Monday it became what I wanted it to be, which was like, people were popping in, they're doing sets, no one's taking it too serious. There's a crowd, they're into it, but it wasn't like super stressy. And that was a hang. There's a couple booths at the Kibitz where you can kind of chill, like, and they shot like some Mad Men scenes there, so it feels kind of Mad Men-y mixed with Die Bar, mixed with Guns N' Roses.
I like that. That's tight.
That I had a good hang Monday. That was one of my good hangs.
Nice.
And so yeah, it's been good. But usually, you know, when you're doing the show or running a show, it's like you're kind of focused on that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Especially producing a thing. You're like, I the few times that I produced a show, I always forget until like 10 minutes before that I have to do a set. Like everything else comes up and then I'm like, oh, well, I have to talk and I have to be funny now. And it's like,
yeah, it's taxing on your brain a bit in terms of your energy gets sucked into other places if you're not careful.
Yeah.
I used to hide. The original Comedy Bunker, I used to hide for like 25 minutes before the show because like otherwise there was like a pre-hang and everyone's just talking to you, wanting to like spend time and just talk. And you're like, well, I'm going to talk in about 20 minutes for 20 minutes. So can you give me after the show? Sure, we'll talk and chop it up about your dog and all that stuff. But for now, we're not doing that.
Yeah. You're like, let me save it. Let me save it for a bit.
But you just shot a special.
I did, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Shot it November of last year, and it comes out, I'm not sure when this comes out, but April 12th.
April 12th, so this will drop April 11th, just in time to the big drop.
Tomorrow. I'm very excited. I'm also so sick of listening to it.
Yeah.
I've been watching it for so long, but I'm really excited for it.
Just the edit is over and over, watching yourself. And
yeah, the edit, making sure like I should say very particular, but like little things like I'll latch onto and then like I have to get that because it'll be all I'll think about. So it's just been a lot of that. So it's at the point now where like I'm happy with it visually and the sound and stuff. But I don't know if it's funny anymore because I've just heard it so many times that I'm like, I've sent it to people. I'm like, hey, can you just tell me if this like works?
Right.
Because I'm going crazy right now.
It's like a movie director. You kind of like, you need now you got to like screen it for an audience almost.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a good idea. Do people do that for specials? Do they screen them and then be like, I need to edit?
I'm sure they do. I haven't heard of them doing that, but it seems like a great idea. Like,
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Just like throw it up, be like, put it in a theater.
Yeah. I wonder if like, because so many of the people who shoot big specials are doing like theater tours. That almost seems like the screen kind of where they have the hours so down tight after running it for that whole tour that they kind of have it in the edit as like pickup. Whereas like I didn't have the opportunity to do that. So it's like, oh, we have to cut this stuff out because this is like the second time all of this has been put together in the same like order.
But I would say that, okay, so you're on a tour and then you're listening, all the good bits now. So maybe there's like a permanence of laughs in your brain like when you're editing it, but it's just not translate. Because I've watched specials by comedians I love, seen the special live, then watched on the TV, and it just didn't translate. I was like, oh, this was way better live. And maybe a screening can get rid of that.
Yeah, just to see like where they boost it, or even
because like there's when you cut between cameras, that can affect the joke. You can punch like there's all these little like editing tricks.
Yeah, and that was a big thing too when we found doing this one is like just the little bit of a cut could change so much of the the timing of everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's that being that particular about it was, and then maybe if you do start like having a screening for it, you just bring like a Zoom recorder to that, and you're like, we couldn't really get all the audience audio, so we'll catch it now
hilarious.
after the fact. Like, we'll take some of this.
Little
it's
audio.
Still the same,
Right? Yeah, it's still live capture.
Yeah, it's for this. I'm not using something else.
That's hilarious. But yeah, I think I'm gonna say that I'm gonna do that when I shoot my special. I'm gonna screen it and then take notes and then go back and edit.
Yeah. That's fun. I think that's a great idea. That's fun because then you also get to people to be like, "Oh, you get to see it early." You know what I mean? Like,
you get to see it early, and also you get some just some early feedback, so it doesn't go out into the universe. But I guess in today's day and age, you're you're not done with this edit. You got to make your clips. You got to make your and you got to take 60 minutes into one. So you have 60 clips to make.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that. Like, I would be lying if that wasn't also like just a big reason for doing it.
Of course.
But something I've had to learn with this is like I kept trying to make it so perfect or like do certain things that at the end of the day I was like, it's never gonna. If I wait for it to be perfect, I'll never put it out.
No, of course not.
So as of right now, are there little things that like I wish I could change? Sure, but that's always gonna happen. I'm happy with the material. I think the night was really fun. So I'm just excited for people to see it, When
I used to mix records and you would know when it's done, where you're like, all right, you can listen through it twice without like noticing anything. You're like, all right, it's done.
That's funny you bring that up because this past time when I watched it was the first time I was able to watch it all the way through without like being like, I need to go for a walk. Because before it was like, I'll watch 15 minutes and then that's all I can take. And then this first time I was like, I got to see it all the way through. I'm watching it again tonight. Like I got to watch it all the way through just so I know what it is. So I don't like miss things. And then we have some intro outro stuff to add because it's a week away, so we still got a couple little things, but I'm excited for it.
Where are you dropping it?
YouTube.
That's where you got to do it.
Yeah, man. I'm keeping like the audio and stuff later if I want to do like because I have talked a little bit about like doing like album stuff. But I'm YouTube, I was like I'll put it out there like it's mine. I get to do what I want with it. If it goes somewhere else after, great, but it was the big reason I did it is like I don't have like a late night spot or something like that. Could I use some of this material for that? Yeah, but I really was excited about like making my own project and like making what I wanted out of it. And it's my first one, so I was like, this is like my thing I get to put out where I can like reference it. Like if people are like, hey, have you put anything out? I'd be like, I did this whole special.
Right.
Like,
And also you own the audience because it's part of your channel, which is important. I mean, most of my favorite specials were dropped on YouTube, like Norman's recent one, Sam Morrill's, Joe List. Like
Norman's was the big one that like I like look back for of like, just like what to do kind of.
Yeah, and that was shot here in LA at Dynasty Typewriter, which is 200 seats. It's not a huge place, but perfect, and it turned out great.
Yeah.
And where did you shoot yours?
So I shot mine. I'm a part of a theater company called Loft Ensemble.
Okay.
I've been with them for a minute.
But what is it? Hold on, a theater company?
Yes.
Is that like
acting.
A musical?
Yeah. So I don't sing, but I've done. I do plays there. So
okay.
That I don't think they haven't done a musical in a minute.
Yeah, you have play hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like you could play King Lear.
It's
something.
all those typecasting classes where I was like, I got to keep a certain image. I guess.
Yeah.
But I went to acting school, and then through there, my best friend owns this theater company, and so I've been with them for a minute, and they have a theater space that they were like, you can just use it.
Right.
And I was like, well, that's
perfect.
Yeah, it's amazing. So it's like a 70-seat theater, and so we shot it there. I did 2 shows, and it was super nice because then we have the full like theater lighting setting, so we could play around with it. The set for the special is so funny. It's that was not like I just kind of had to do with like whatever was there. Because, I can't
it's
really...
like pieces of Macbeth behind you. Like, just ignore that.
Yeah. I didn't want to... just like a Neil Simon play. And I'm like, this was a choice.
Right.
But I was lucky that they had these really cool, like, wooden pieces that we got to decorate and, like, move around. So that was fun, like, getting to do...
Okay, you're going to win Best Set Design.
Yeah.
I saw Hamilton for the first time, like the real one. And I don't, like, go to musicals and plays, but... I was impressed. There's like stuff moving and they're jumping up and down and they're on different levels and it's a lot.
Yeah, I remember because I saw. Have you seen the video one, like the TV
No,
one?
I have not.
I'll say this: I love them both. I thought the live version was way like better. Like, I mean, just like you were talking about with specials, like when you're in the room for that, that's a crazy energy. You can still enjoy it when you see it on TV, but like being there for it, that's why I've always liked plays and theaters and stuff.
And you scrutinize it less when it's live, because live it's like an experience, and you're watching, and there's so much stuff to pay attention to. But when you're watching on a screen, now you're paying attention to the craft of making it look good for the screen, which is different. The editing, the cut, and it's just like now you're watching like a weird. Is it a movie? It's not.
Yeah. You can catch everything.
You catch every mistake. Yeah,
right. Whereas like, especially in a theater, depending on where you're sitting, you're like, I'm watching this person. I've missed everything that's happening over here.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I wish sometimes like I could see, like sometimes I've been able to see a play more than once, and that's fun because I'm like, I get it all. Now I can do that. That's, I think, when I really like a movie, it's like I watch it once and I'm like, okay, now that I got that out of the way.
Oh yeah, every great movie is worth seeing twice.
Yeah.
I like when I'm doing work, I always have some movie I've already seen up, just playing, because I just enjoy it. And then sometimes you watch a movie with the sound off, you're like, oh, it still works. So like this scene is still good.
Oh yeah. What's a movie that you like could watch like just over and over and over again? You wouldn't get sick of it.
I could watch the latest Tarantino one, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So good.
I could watch that over and over. I could watch most of his films over and over. Lately, I've been on a Mission Impossible kick, because I got the Paramount Plus, so I've been cycling through those.
Yeah,
and having those in the background is kind of fun because it gets you pumped to do work. You're like, all right, he's solving problem. I'm gonna solve problems too. Yeah. I had it on today, and I like sent a couple invoices. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bang out this W9, and so he got me stoked.
That's great. Yeah. It's all this action stuff going on. You're like, I'm part of the team.
My buddy turned me on to that a long, long time ago. He used to, when he had a lot of emails to do, he'd put on like the score from like The Rock with is that movie where they're breaking out of jail with Nick Cage.
Oh yeah.
Not like The Rock, the fighter, but or the bodybuilder, but and it would be like pumped, like dun 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 dun, dun, and he's like, and he's just banging out emails. I just thought it was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And I do it now too. I'll throw on like the score to like James Bond, and it's just like, it's just like, strings and like high tension music, and it gets you in the zone to like, to do work. Now it's in my Spotify, and my random shuffle will go through, and I'll be driving and it'll come on. And that's dangerous because that'll make you drive like a maniac.
You're like, I'm flooring it right now.
Yeah.
You're like, I didn't mean to, but it's this.
Yeah,
music.
when you hear like, da, 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 and you're like slamming, and you're just weaving through cars.
You're just constantly.
I can just picture like an accident, like I'm dead, the car is totaled, and the music's still playing, and they're like, "What the hell's going on?"
Switches to like a more somber song. It just shuffles.
Oh yeah, perfect timing.
Just make it's all so cinematic.
Oh, that'd be great. That's the way you want to go out. Oh, like a cinematic playlist.
Yeah, just laying strings.
Hans Zimmer playing you off. That's
just
perfect.
Some Interstellar, like the da da.
Yeah. Hans Zimmer is the king. Like every time he does a score, I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, he's the best. The best of what there is.
But similarly, when you're talking about like watching Hamilton, the movie of the play, and then the play, like when you're making a record, like people who you can go see a band live, you're like, they're amazing, and then you get them in the studio, and you're like, it's like surgery. It's so, you hear every little thing, every note off. Everything is so hyper focused that it doesn't translate always, and you have to like, they're completely different skills. And I would say it's a completely different skill to like make a movie Hamilton and the play Hamilton like work.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's so interesting. I mean, you never really think about that. Like it is like surgery. Like, cause I'm a big like rock heavy metal fan. And like that's very much like the whole spectacle. But when it comes down to the individual, like
getting a rock record recorded well is very challenging. It's like, cause you have to keep, playing the parts over and over, especially nowadays what rock is. It's so tight and so edited. But, you have to be a really great musician. You're tuning in between takes. It's nothing about making a rock record is rock and roll in today's environment. It's a lot of like, do it again, one more time. All right, let's take a break. All right, tune up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder, like Slipknot's got their whole thing, like how much it's got to be, because there's so many people in the band and like how many instruments, like how complicated it is. It's got to be very like step by step kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't know their music well, but I think I walked into a Slipknot session one time because we were like next in the studio, and we were using the same mixer, and yeah, it's a lot of different parts plugged into like different amps, and like the board is full, and it's a good time.
Yeah,
If you like buttons, it's a good time.
I've seen. I'll watch like when sometimes people do like how to, or like when they'll do documentaries about like how they made the album. Like sometimes I'll watch like metal bands that'll do that, and it does kind of make me laugh. Like the heavy lyrics, like when they're screaming, but it's like just that, like isolated in a booth. Sometimes that makes me laugh because I'm like, it's just the raw version of it, and sometimes
it's insane.
It can be a little wild.
You're like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Or you're like overdubbing like one note, or you just keep playing the same bass line over and over and over. Good times.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So what's your strategy in terms of releasing the special? Like, how are you going to get eyeballs on it?
So clips are like one of the big reasons I did it, captioning those, putting them out. Especially making it on YouTube, I can do the full special. I can do just segments of like 5 minutes of like this certain bit, this certain one. Social media is great in the way that you can put so many things out. I'm keeping the album part of it separate for a minute just to see how this kind of goes off, and paid marketing ads too. I mean, that's been something that I've
like on Instagram,
Facebook, that kind of stuff. You see like, especially I'm trying to think of what the name of those are, the dry bar specials.
Yeah.
How good they just do on Facebook. They'll get all of these shares, and Richard
Sarvate, he cut up his dry bar special and got like 1.5 million TikTok followers from it.
It's wild.
Yeah,
that's so wild. Richard's great too.
Yeah,
he's so funny. But yeah, I mean, also just throwing it on Facebook as that marketing aspect. I don't post as much there, but trying to just keep it as like, I'm trying to build like a regular algorithm with it. I mean, that's a big thing, is like, because right now I want to post more, but I don't want to like burn bits. Like if they're not ready, like I can do crowd work stuff, but if I have the full thing,
burn away, burn baby burn.
Yeah,
that's the name of the special, by the way. Burn baby
burn. Baby burn. Check it out.
What is the name of the special?
Deep breaths.
Deep breaths.
Yeah, it's I talk about my anxiety in it.
You have anxiety? You're like the most relaxed, like happy-go-lucky guy I've seen.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? I do.
Which is making you anxious right now, but
yeah. I'm like,
sorry to bring it up. Sorry to bring it up.
No, it's okay. It's just the elephant in the room. No, I do. And yeah, it's been something like, especially like post-pandemic, has been a big thing to like figure out. What it was is like, I've always had this feeling, and then I started going to therapy, and I was like, isn't it crazy that we all feel like this? My therapist was like, absolutely not. Not everybody feels that way.
Okay.
So, going through that, and, it's a part of the special, but, I also, the cover of the special is like ocean themed, and I have like a snorkel mask on, and I just thought it was like a fun play on words. When I was trying to think of a thing that like felt fun. Also, like just the marketing aspect of that is like the emoji, just the snorkel emoji, it's the same color as the one I'm wearing. So when like I market it and I do stuff, I just throw that emoji up and it matches that. So just like a simple look thing.
Do you remember those bits they used to do on Saturday Night Live, like Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy? It would be like an ocean background, kind of like meditating music, and they'd scroll through the guy's thoughts, and there's always some sort of joke in there. Check it out. You could possibly just like retake that, and it's like very 80s, and like the font is scrolling on the screen, and he's doing it in like a slow, deep breath.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing out weird marketing ideas.
I just get like
you're like,
I get a cease and desist now. They're like, this is pretty similar, and I'm like,
yeah, that's on tape that you're. But is anything like everything's like an homage and a copy? People just rip stuff into their TikToks, like.
Yeah, I mean,
no one would harass you for that.
No, and I mean that's the bummer too. I mean, there's the joke stealing, but then there's just it also like the hardest part, and the thing that gives me a lot of anxiety about like just writing jokes is like the first thing I think when I have a good thought is I'm always like, who's already said that? Like I Google it, I'm like, I have to go on YouTube, I'm like, who's already said this? And that's like the unfortunate part, but I guess like the more honest you are with like your stuff, every idea I guess has already been like thought up, but not a particular like
Yeah.
perspective of it. You know, like I talk about anxiety in my special. I mean, Taylor Thompson just dropped an amazing special talking about like medication, depression, anxiety, that kind of stuff. And we have stuff that's different. And that's the beautiful part of it, is like it's such a different experience.
Yeah, I mean, it gets weird if it's, and it can happen, parallel thought, where it's like so similar, you have to make a choice.
Yeah.
But usually, I mean, stuff is relatable because we've all thought it. Like, it's only funny because it's relatable. And that means part of us have thought it but never articulated it the clean and funny way that you did. So it'd be, if you're talking about something that's totally left field, like what I did with you in the Saturday Night Live clip, it doesn't resonate. Like, I haven't seen it, I don't care, it's plagiarism, not funny, right? Yeah. So it's like, it has to be a connection. So it's comedy's moved away from like the dating is hard type stuff.
It is so funny to hear that, like, oh, comedy's tough, and it's like, like when I hear people do that, like on stage, when it's like there's a lull and they're like, what's next? Dating's weird. I'm like, no.
I was thinking about doing an 80s comedy night where you had to do a dating is weird bit.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be fun. Just like a,
or like you had to go through all. What I don't really. I'm more of a 90s kid, but like. Like they always talk about 80s comedy. It's like going through all like the 80s comedy tropes would be kind of like a funny night. Yeah. Where you had to hit like one of them in your act.
Yeah. Like a fun shirt. I feel like that's like 80s
fun
comedy.
Shirt.
Yeah, just a fun shirt or like outfit.
Or like a catchphrase.
Yeah. Catchphrase for sure.
Catchphrase is Dice Clay was the catchphrase, right?
Yeah. I wonder if you come up with your catchphrase or people have to come up with like, you just have like a bucket and you got to like tie it into your material. Like this is the catchphrase you get.
Oh, like you pull it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be tough if you like have to do a full set.
You got to work it in. But then would the audience know? So you pull a catchphrase out of the bucket and you got to work it in, but then the audience
picks. What if they wrote the catchphrases?
Oh, the audience. Oh, they write the catchphrases. So they're like waiting for it. That'd be kind of cute.
Yeah, it's like when it's almost like improv shows. Like they'll give you a bucket in the beginning.
Yeah.
You write down your catchphrase, and then that has to be like your catchphrase in the joke.
Look how excited you got.
Yeah, dude, I love that kind of stuff.
This is in your wheelhouse. You're like, I'm a theater kid.
I love this. I love it. Yeah.
That'd be fun. I mean, I feel like a lot of audiences like shows with like a little quirky theme nowadays. It kind of sets it apart from 5 stand-ups, which I still like. You know, that's good too. But yeah, little catchphrases in a bucket.
Yeah, just something that gives it like gets the comics excited about it too. Because I think that that.
I mean, they'll be less excited about it, but the audience will like it.
Well, like
they'll do it reluctantly.
Yeah, but that like I don't know, the nerves and the fun of that. Like, because I did the Shenanigans mic, the one that Miranda Meadows and JP Puthenbeetle run, and it's like very much like it is like that, where it's a mic and you do material, but you spin a wheel and crazy stuff happens to you. Like I got taped to a pillar for my set, and then I was just there the rest of the show.
You went along with that?
Yes. Yeah, that stuff is so fun.
Like duct tape?
It was like masking tape. They were gonna use duct tape, but they didn't have it. But like they did another.
You
one.
wouldn't get out if it was duct tape.
Probably not, but like that's part of the fun.
Just leave you there.
They put Moses Storm. They put a tarantula in a cage. They put it on his head, and he did a set like that.
No way.
Yeah,
the real tarantula.
Yeah, they put they put it like just put a reel up about it, and it was so fun because it's another thing where it's like
we're trying crawling on him.
It stayed mostly in the back because it's also like you obviously don't want to hurt it, so like we're trying to be careful, but like it would like get real close. Oh, it was fun.
What a nut.
Yeah. It was great.
That's insane.
But everybody like signs up, like they volunteer for it, you know. But it's part of the fun where it's like it's stand up, but there's also like the outside factors. Like Mary Romeo put like they were like this muscle contractor thing on, and Miranda had the thing to control it, and she would do a set and it would like
she gets zapped.
She would get kind of zapped, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Pain is always funny.
Always. Yeah, absolutely. I've always thought that's why I love Jackass so much. I've always thought that was so funny.
Just like, well, it's the most basic form of humor. It's like, I mean, it's like puns, then like getting kicked in the balls.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters by myself just because I was like, it's such like a feel good thing for
me.
You're
like, I want no one with me. This
like,
is for me. I'll watch it with you the second time. Okay.
I don't want opinions. I just want to be myself watching this.
Yeah. That's a good name for the next Jackass. I don't want opinions. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't want opinions. Just let me be dumb for a minute. Like,
yeah. So you're gonna chop it up. How are you gonna build the YouTube subscriber base so that it launches with a? I mean, we're a week out, so hopefully you got a few. But
yeah, I mean, that was the tough part of like trying to figure out how to like if I wanted to release it through somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the big thing with this is social media pushing it to the YouTube, and then I mean,
then capturing the subscribers that way. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
You know, YouTube's got their shorts now, so putting them on shorts as well. I mean, that's it. Like it really is like through TikTok and Instagram, like those quick things will push people to that. And even if it doesn't get pushed to that, I'm building it over here.
Right.
Like which
is in some ways more valuable because you can address that audience. Like you can't really address your YouTube subscribers.
No, and I mean like getting a lot of YouTube views like that has like, you know, has weight because YouTube is such like a good like what is it? Platform. That was the word. I was gonna say program, but
and it's super credible too because it's like it is algorithmic in the sense that it's search suggested, but it's not pushed to you as much in the same way. So if you get 1 million views on your special or 100,000 or whatever it's going to be, like you're like, this is like, it's kind of like an artist going to Spotify. There's a legitimacy to that number where you're like, okay, I know it sucks, but everyone's judged that way.
Yeah.
We're judged in the fact that you go to your Instagram page, you're like, all right, he's verified, he's got that many. All right, I'll take the meeting.
Yeah. No, yeah. And so cutting it up will just help push people more that way. But like I said, even if that doesn't work out, you know, if that builds more on Instagram and TikTok, then that's great, you know, because I don't have that many followers as it is. So the initial bump is tough because I'm like, I can only post so much where it's like, you know, it caps at like my follower count. But now, you know, the only thing I wish I'd done before is like maybe pre-post some clip stuff. But I think, you know, that is what it is. Like I'm going to post it as it comes out, and then
you're pushing the snowball down the hill and it's going to get momentum later.
Yeah.
As it goes, like it almost doesn't matter. There's no like there's no perfect plan you could do.
No, because like I'm not going to get a billboard because nobody like it's one of those things where it's like the whole reason I'm doing it is because I have no baseline to go off of.
Yeah.
I'm just releasing it and then we'll push it from there. Like my buddy who directed it and edited it, Garrett McKenna, he does like sketch stuff. He's never done a stand-up special before. Okay. But that was exciting is like, you know, I liked his editing. I liked his sense of humor. I knew we'd get along with this. He knows the equipment and stuff.
3 cams, 2 cams?
3 cams. Nice. And then we switched them a little bit between each show just to get some different angles.
Yeah.
And even though I used majority of one show, but that's, I feel every time I've heard a comic talk about their special, they're like, we use mostly from one show. It just works out like that.
Yeah, like this is the show, and then like it's like little bits.
Yeah,
in case, or you need to cut to something, or there was a flub.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is like when there's a flub, I'm like, okay, we'll use this one. You know, but it was exciting to like do it new, and that's the thing is like just starting from that bottom area and being like, and now we're making something, and now if it goes somewhere, great. If it is just fun that we did it, cool. You know, I don't have like these lofty expectations of it like blowing up, but if it does well and people like it, then it'll be a nice thing that I can pitch myself with, being like, hey, this is like I put out this full thing.
Yeah, I want to headline this club, or I want to do this thing, or I want to, and here's what I've done.
And what I like about YouTube too is that TikTok and Instagram, it's very like quick. Those clips are like going to come and go. I can repost those later if I want to, but when I put it on YouTube, it's always going to sit there. So it might pop at some point, it'll get more views, it'll come and go, it'll sit there, it'll collect those views and stuff like that. So
I call it the algorithmic dragnet. It's just like you're trawling.
That's a great phrase.
Pulling stuff into, you know, over time.
Yeah. Algorithmic dragnet.
Yeah, so over time, people are going to find it, discover it. The bigger you get, because, you know, your career is long ahead of you. The bigger you get, the more people will see it. Your second special will come up, the more people will see it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be like, oh, it's behind a paywall or something. It's already on a thing that you own. So you're just building the channel of you, which is, like it or not, it's our job. I've resigned myself like more recently than I should have to being kind of like on the same page as you, where it's like, it's time to clip, just put the stuff out, build it, shoot it, put it out, don't care. I'm even putting up, if the bit was recorded well on a show I did, it's going up. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Write more and like, let's go. Like,
I think getting rid of that stigma of like, once I post it, it's gone. It's still mine. I can do whatever I want with it. That's also the nice part about me putting it out. I can do it whenever I want.
Yeah.
I have that. I've been writing.
You can take it down. You're like, this one, I've changed it now, and I am gonna put it in this next bit, or next special.
Yeah, say like eventually like I get like a big special, or like I get a late night thing. They're like, we want to do this. Take that down. I'll be like, fine,
absolutely,
bye.
Yeah, next.
Yeah, that's the nice part is like the stakes are low enough to where all of the plus that comes from it is just profit gain.
Yeah.
Not even money wise, just like experience. Like if I get a lot of views from this, that I hope for it, but you can't expect that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but
and it makes you better at it. Like I've noticed, like I put, I think 4 or 5 clips in the last 2 weeks, and I'm getting better at doing it. I'm like, okay, the title should be here. The title should be throughout. This is how you should do it. Oh, I forgot about this last step where you center the thing for the small thumb. So you start to becoming better at it.
Yeah. Have you, I just saw the one you just posted at the nightcap. I liked that one.
Yeah, I did a couple from there.
And it looked great. I can't remember which one it was, but the most recent one I saw, I really liked it.
It came out really crisp, and I was like, yeah, this is great. I had 2 cams from them, and they do a really good job. So it sounded great. I'm like, let me just chop it up. Boom. The auto caption on Premiere is a game changer.
Oh wow,
game changer. Before it was like a nightmare.
Yeah, I do it manually.
Oh no, you're fucking up. You're fucking up.
Damn.
You press one button, it puts it all in there, done. You fix a few ifs, I's, buts, and that's it.
Jeez. I was talking to somebody, and they said it's when you post on Instagram, it's better to use their captions. The algorithm picks it up better. And I was like, damn it.
That's interesting.
Because I guess it's kind of like, it feels like in TikTok when you use like a sound and a thing, even like what I would do sometimes is like pick a sound but turn the volume off so it picks up that I'm using it.
Right. Because it gets pushed to like Drake. If you pick a Drake song, you throw it in there, turn it down. Yeah.
So someone's like, oh, if you use Instagram's captions, they'll push it to more people looking at caption stuff. Yeah. Because if you put the captions in there, they can't really tell what the video's caption.
Yeah. But these are like, this is just we're just like, no one works for this company. We're like whispering like stuff about God in the street.
There's no handbook.
Like, I heard he favors those who eat grapes. You're like, what? This is just some asshole who doesn't know anything's opinion. Like we don't know. Actually don't know, and they're changing it all the time.
Yeah, and it's literally just that we get past notes in class. We're like,
it's the same thing. I'm sure God is up there laughing at us what we think, and then everyone on Instagram's laughing at us. Like, oh, look at these idiots. They think if you do this, it works, and like blah blah blah. Yeah. Like the algorithm is some sort of like, I don't know. I don't think it's something that can be gamed fully, in my opinion. But
no, because it changes. Because if enough people game it, then it doesn't become like, it just flattens out. There has to be ways to like they have to change it all the time. Rules and stuff are changing.
I think it's as simple now, and I could totally be wrong. I'm just another idiot saying it now too. But it's just more. You do more. And you do what of their newest features, and that's it. Because I was like, I put them on the weekend, I put them on weekdays, I put them at the time they said, the time not they said, and I think it's just frequency. You keep feeding it, and it likes it.
Yeah, and I'm so bad about just like posting in general that once this comes out, that'll be the thing. Is like I'll have a weekly day. I'll put
a post day, and you can schedule them in Facebook Business Suite, which is also a game. Have you done that?
No, I haven't.
So you just go to your Facebook account if it's tied to your Instagram. Go to the business tools. You can plan your whole week of posts.
That's great.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah, I like because I post for another app where I do like it's like audio posting and like mini podcast stuff. And
mini podcast?
Yeah, so it's this app I've been doing stuff on called Beams.
Beams.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like audio Twitter where it's like you it's only a minute and a half. But it's like a mini show, or like you can kind of talk about whatever. And I'll record them on a day, and then just like through the week, I'll just.
And is
post
there a
them.
Beams app?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mini podcasts.
Yeah.
So it's like a voice message text, but to.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Right. Yeah. So you scroll through like it's Instagram or Twitter, but instead of it being a video or like a thing, it's literally just like a mini show like that people will do.
Just audio.
Just audio.
Okay, but are some of them basic? Like, hey, I just got in my car. No, they're like
not at this point because it's still like a newer app. It's a lot of like when I went with them, it was like you have like your plan for like kind of what your theme can change, but like it helps to just have that theme of like what people.
So these
want
are produced in a way.
Kind of, yeah, at varying levels. Like sometimes I'll add stuff like sound effects or like music underneath. Sometimes I won't. Like if I'm just like feeling like.
Are you an audio guy? Like how do you?
I have to now, kind of.
Okay.
Like I had to figure it out. Not very much. Like I can, dissolve, like make that. I don't like levels and all that stuff. I would look at a soundboard and I'd be like, this is the craziest spaceship I've ever seen. Like I don't get it. Like I'm better with like just like the like little video stuff. But the basic stuff, like I can I'm
gonna download the Beams app.
Do it, dude.
So I get Beams and I can follow you.
Yeah.
There are followers on Beams?
Mm-hmm. You can clap and post like that.
This episode is brought to you by Beams.
They'll love this. I hope.
Do you know them personally?
I don't, not like personally, but like I speak to them. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So like you're like kind of like a brand ambassador, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, content guy there. Yeah.
If not, they need to get. Oh, look at it. It's a nice little purple app. Downloading now. All right. Look at that.
Yeah.
I used to use a Headliner, which was like it would take your podcast clips and give it that like little audio, like it's speaking thing. But then I just bypassed that and I just make video clips.
Yeah.
But for a brief while, there was still kind of like a moment. It's like, is video and pods important? And then it's like, yeah, it's just super important. Forget all that.
Yeah, for sure. That was like because I just moved in with my girlfriend and we're talking about starting a podcast.
Oh, great. Is she a comedian?
No, she's a makeup artist.
Okay. So you'll look great on the pod?
Yeah. But that was the thing is like, we were talking, she was like, oh, I don't like just like the audio stuff. And I was like, oh, well, no, we're doing video too. She's like, video? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I mean, all my favorite
The makeup
podcasts.
artist, you got to be on camera. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. We're going to look great. Like we got to show people like what we look like.
Yeah.
But most of my favorite podcasts, if not all, like there's video. Even just like not even full thing, just like clips they'll put
I don't
out.
watch the video, but I watch or listen to podcasts when I'm driving or running or working out. So, but sometimes like Apple Podcasts has video now, and I was listening to
Really?
Yes. So I was listening to Bill Maher's podcast, and if you go to the podcast app, he's got a new podcast separate from his late night show, which is great. He had Tarantino on and also Judd Apatow, 2 great episodes.
Oh, wow.
And it's like filmed at his house, but it's video. So he pops up in the podcast app video. I was like, this is great. I had no idea.
Wild. Yeah, the first time I saw that was, when it wasn't expected is like when Rogan went to Spotify.
Yeah, same
and
thing. So I don't know if he's got an exclusive or everyone can do it now. Got to look into it. But
that would be great.
Yeah, when Rogan went to Spotify, his video popped up because I guess he had a lot of fans on YouTube.
Yeah, but the interesting part to me is like for that is like this like I don't know, like YouTube is the spot for video because like if it's video on Spotify, like normally Spotify is just on my phone. It's a small screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
It's not. Yeah, it's kind of like my brain isn't wired to expect video on that app. Kind of like what you're saying. So I open it up. I'm like, it pops up, and I'm like, I don't need the video. I'm already doing something where I'm planning for audio, so it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, yeah, it sounds like a very exciting next couple of months and a lot of hard work for you the next couple of months.
Yes, it's just getting started, but like I'm very excited for where it's going to go. Like this kickstarting this journey. One, I'm excited for this portion of it to be over, with like the edit and like worrying about that. I'm excited for it to be out, and then the next step of seeing where that takes me. I'm really looking forward for it.
And then I see you at Flappers a lot. Is that like your home club? Were you managed by them, or are you managed by them? So
I was doing colleges based out of there.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'm not there anymore. I'm somewhere else. But they've been, especially like because I first started there, so they were super supportive of like my journey. I'm not there that often anymore as much. Do
you still do your Noah Copfer and Friends show there or no? Okay.
No, I'm doing a different show now, which is starting at the Nightcap.
Oh, great.
It's called Demolition Imminent.
Nice.
And I have to have you on it. But it's it's a fun show. I'm excited. That Noah Copfer and Friends was fun. That was still my first like soiree into like producing.
Yeah.
So I picked things that I liked out of it, and then I'm doing it in other spots and just seeing what goes on. But it's super fun.
Nightcap show will be good. Do you have a first date coming up?
Yeah, the 21st
of
this month, Thursday.
Hey, he's got a date coming up. He's got a special dropping. This is a great April for you. Is your birthday in April?
It was last month.
Oh, damn it.
I know.
Could have been
I
the
should have lied.
trifecta.
I should have been like, yeah.
Right?
But then
it's about honesty on the podcast.
Yeah.
They want to get to know you, the person behind the person behind the person.
Yeah, and then they see that I lied about my birthday, and they're like, what else did he lie about?
Yeah.
Does he have a special coming out?
Yeah. But you don't have a pod now, right?
I don't have a pod right
But
now.
you and your girlfriend will have one.
Possibly. We'll see.
Yeah, she's going to do it. She'll see your star rising and be like, I got to hook onto this.
Yeah, she's like,
sorry,
"You're not going
girlfriend."
anywhere. No, she agrees. She's like, you're not going
Oh, you
anywhere.
brought her to the, when I did Eliza Schlesinger at the nightcap.
Yeah, she loves
She was
Eliza.
very nice.
Yeah, no, she's a big. That's the funny thing is like she's seen me do comedy so much that she will only go and like my friend, like she loves Audrey Stewart.
Oh, she's great.
She loves. So anytime, like if I'm doing a show, like if I'm just doing a show, she's like, I don't know, like it's kind of far. Like if I'm trying new stuff, she'll come. But like if I'm like Audrey's on the show, she's like, what time is it?
I'll be there.
So yeah,
Audrey should be the third person on your pod. First guest.
Oh yeah, are you kidding me?
Good
We do
fan
so
out.
many episodes in a day. She'd be like, she's my favorite. She loves Audrey. I mean, it makes sense. Audrey's amazing.
Yeah.
But that was so. We had that conversation the other day where I was like, yeah, Audrey will be on that show. She's like, oh, what time is it? I'll go.
Yeah.
I'm like, that makes sense. You know?
That's perfect. Yeah, that was a fun night, and I thank you for coming and supporting. And
Of course, man. Yeah,
it's always great to see you around.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you put on such great shows, and it's always great to see you. And like,
Thanks.
You know, yeah.
I think the last time we actually did a show together was, with DJ at Flappers Main Room, probably like before the pandemic.
It must have been.
Oh no, that was during the pandemic. That was when they did a live broadcast show
That was
during the pandemic. Yeah.
Wow, what an interesting time that was.
Yeah.
Looking back on that, also that feels like 3 years ago, but it definitely like.
It was probably a year and a half ago. Like really, that show was probably a year and a half ago because it's 2021 now or 2022 now. It was probably the middle of 2020 before it was like June 2020 before people were like, all right, I can go out.
Yeah, because we were
and do stuff.
It was masks, like I think gloves. We had the separate mics and all that stuff.
Yeah. And that was one of the first times I was out, like back at a club and being like, okay, this is. I felt comfortable, but it was also we're kind of like feeling it out, seeing what's what.
Yeah, it was one of those like, thank goodness this is happening, but also like, I don't want to jump the gun and like get too excited. You know?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great. Why don't you come by the Kibitz room on a Monday? It's a drop-in kind of vibe, so just text me a Monday you want to do it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And it's been super fun. Maybe we'll do the... It'll be perfect. You can come. I'll get the bucket full of... what is it called?
Like catchphrase bucket?
Catchphrases. And then if it doesn't work, I'll be like, it's this guy's fault. His idea. What is he... Get him out of here.
Get him out of here. Like, we bring bad ideas to the table. Leave. Get out of here.
But I'm going to make it cool. It's going to be like 80s night. It's going to be 80s. Mm-hmm. You know what I did is I played like Hair Nation playlist. I was hanging out with the guys from New York Comedy Club, and they were out in LA driving around with a Mustang with the top down and playing Hair Nation. I'm like, what's Hair Nation? They're like, oh, it's the 80s. It's the 80s metal station on Sirius XM. So I played it at the show on Monday. And like rats feeling the vibrations in the ground, people just like came in.
Yeah, dude. It's hard to have a bad time to that music. So when you hear that, you're like,
the place is packed. I'm like, I literally put on the music, the doors open, people are flying in, they're dressed the part. I'm like, what is this? This place is like a time machine. Because that is where like Guns N' Roses and stuff used to play and all that. So
wow,
it'll be a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got one last plug. We got your special dropping on April 12th. Tomorrow for your Liz pod. We got your, that's going to force me to edit it on time. We got your...
Or you just edit this out and you're like...
Oh yeah. All right. No, I don't want all that work. And then we got your show on the 21st at the Nightcap.
On the Nightcap, yeah.
And we'll see you some Monday at the Kibitz room.
Yeah, dude.
All right. Thanks, Noah. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, man. This is fun.
Yep.